Losing my mother at such a young age had a profound effect on me. After losing her, I wanted to educate women about how to better take care of themselves. As a result, Dianne's Call Natural Living Lifestyle show was created. So let's answer the call to make our health a priority. Dianne's Call. Hello, welcome to Dianne's Call Natural Living Lifestyle Show. I'm here in Atlanta, Georgia with Dr. Ashay, the herb sister. The herb sister.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So we're here at the 8th annual Womb Wellness Conference, and she's going to tell us more about the conference. So tell us what happened.
Okay, well, we have Forgiveness Friday with Coach Jackie, who works with Dianne Van Sant and her Inner Visions Institute. Okay. So she did Forgiveness Friday yesterday, taking everybody through an intensive on looking at their lives and where they may be stuck. Okay. It was pretty powerful. It was. It was pretty powerful. And I thought that some people had some movement and some people weren't ready. But you know what? That's the thing, is that you have to be ready to do this work, because it is a journey. It's not just one day, you know. And so today we had a full day since sunrise yoga all the way now. It's sunset.
I had a chance to participate from the yoga this morning, which was so wonderful.
Yes.
And now, so okay, just give us the rundown of the day.
I mean, we got to have incredible food. We had incredible food with Cecilia's Raw Reality. We had the talk this morning with the Sister Fati, the Senegalese woman, talking about henna and waist beads and, you know, just the whole culture of how you take care of yourself and your family and your mate and how that all works together with having a whole life. And that's what we're about, is making sure that we have a whole life, not just looking at one component of life.
You know, one thing I remember her saying, that we need to make sure we keep distinctions between the male energy and the female energy. And
like
even adults and the children.
Yeah.
Because now the lines are getting kind of blurred, but we want to keep those lines of demarcation straight.
Right. Okay. We know that's a problem. And so from there we did, we had Tai Chi. We had Tai Chi, we had, and with Imani, who came all the way from North Carolina, you know.
How long you been doing this work?
About 24 years. Yeah, 24 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, there was also a sister today who is a Reiki master.
Oh, La. La boy. She's really powerful, very humble, but very powerful. And I'm looking at doing some work with her. Yeah.
We have a sister here to do massages.
Oh, yeah.
I'm telling you, it was action-packed, and of course we had some African dancing.
African dance with Tambra, who has Dance Soul Productions, a great opportunity. We're going to be going there to do some classes. She makes it very simple with the steps broken down so that everybody feels confident enough to continue to do it. I mean, and then you get such a workout and you feel very sexy. Yeah, you know, very physical, because you get to move areas of your body that you don't normally move.
Tell us a little bit about the center itself, the holistic, what do you call
Lifestyle Center.
Holistic Lifestyle Center. Yeah. Tell us about the center.
It's you know, basically it is my home. But what happens is, because I live with the moon cycles, because I live with the seasons, because I live in the way that I'm talking to people about, it reflects that throughout the house. And so it helps other people to be able to see how to live in that same way. One of the things that I like to teach and share, so that we can all have a foundation of life cycles, because we all are in a particular life cycle. I talked about this yesterday briefly, and I wanted to go into it, one, for, you know, this process, but two, because I think it's so important. If I had known this when I was in my 20s, my whole life would have been different. And that, you know, we all know that, you know, we have a season, you know, that we all exist within. You know, right now we're in fall, then we go into winter, spring, summer, and fall. Well, we have the same kinds of cycles within our lives. And what that is the birth, life, death, and rebirth cycle. And many of us get stuck in a death cycle. And a death cycle is when you absolutely have things change in your life. Your children graduate, your marriage ends, your job changes, your you move from the residence that you lived in for years, or city, or something changes that's life-changing, extensively life-changing. And that's a death cycle. These things will never come back. But what ends up happening is, within this death cycle, if you don't allow whatever it is to pass, that's called suffering. That's also what people call in my situation. Well, if I had known this when I was in my 20s, my life would have been a whole different thing, you know? Because when I saw relationships ending, I could have sped it up. You know, when I saw jobs going in south, I could have quit. You know, why wait for them to fire you? You know you hate the job. Every Sunday afternoon, your stomach starts hurting. Every day you late or almost late, you know you hate that job. Why don't you let it go? Why don't you trust yourself enough to believe that you can do something else before somebody kicks you in the womb? That's what it is. They kick you in your creative source, in your creative chakra. You know, so taking some silence, and some people don't like silence, but I treasure silence. Taking some silence, being able to listen to your inner voice and listen to these ideas that you think might be crazy and writing them down. Because, you know, it might be what you consider, I was talking about it earlier, fringe ideas. But the people who are on the fringe are on the frontier. People who are on the fringe are on the frontier. And that's why we all come together, because we understand that, you know? But it seems like everybody here is a leader, is a teacher. That's what teachers are, leaders. Women are teachers, you know? And it seems like everybody here feels that role and acknowledges that role. Just like people want to think that they have inherited the womb issues, they also inherited the diet. They also inherited the way to respond to any type of stressors. They have inherited the entire gift of fibroids. And it's a gift if you pay attention and do something different.
We unconsciously live by a set of memorized behaviors, thoughts, beliefs, perceptions, and emotional reactions that run like an automatic computer program behind the scenes. By the time we're 35, all we're doing is recreating the same stuff.
Yeah. In understanding and being in a powerful vision of who you are and what you need to do is step one. Why am I here? Step two, what is my job on the planet? Step three, am I on my job? And that's what we're looking at right now with these obituaries. Are we even close to our job? And step four, why or why not? Step five, what do I believe about me? Step six, what is the truth about me? And step seven, how can I put the truth about me out there?
Coming up on Dianne's call.
I had the opportunity to meet my spiritual mothers, and those two women, who were also Reiki masters, both had me drive them to the mountains of North Georgia, and we go in and out of crystal stores.
Welcome back to Dianne's Call.
I had the opportunity to meet my spiritual mothers, and those two women who were also Reiki masters both had me drive them to the mountains of North Georgia, and we'd go in and out of crystal stores, and they were serious, they knew their stuff. And so Tanola, the eldest of the two, says, "This is for you." And she gifted me a raw rose quartz tea light holder. And from that time on, I started learning more about this rose quartz. So as time went on, I kept being exposed to these crystals, and I finally got it that these stones and crystals are not just here. They are from the mother, they are from the earth. And they're here to do a job. And consider all the years that you've been watching TV, going into the better stores, into the homes of the Europeans that have the chandeliers, the crystal goblets and glasses. They knew when you look at those crystals hanging, how the light hits them, and that radiates in the room. There's a reason for everything. And so that's why they've been drawn to these crystals. That's why they make a huge deal out the diamond, which is the hardest. It takes the longest to formulate in the earth. So it's the highest quality of crystal. But every stone and crystal has a healing quality to it. And that's why there's so many wonderful books out on them. Has anyone ever had a hot stone massage or familiar with what that is? Okay. So they take these wonderful, dark, almost flat stones, and they put them in water. And they allow it to get heated up. And the massage therapist will lay it on your body, usually down your kundalini, down your vertebrae. And when it's doing that heat, it's opening up those contracted muscles. And so while the massage therapist is working in other parts of your body, that heat is doing what it does. Crystals do the same thing. Reiki is a Japanese word, which means universal life force energy. But everything goes back to Kemet. Everything goes back to Kemet. And actually, it's one of the many healing modalities. And I term it as one modality just providing you tools. Every single one of us came out the womb gifted with healing gifts and power. And the most powerful healing force in the universe is when you team up with your divine and say, "Come on, God, let's work this." And you talk to your divine, and you'll put the power there. So practitioners basically take a workshop and are attuned by a master. And basically what it is you'll learn, you're taught the history, the background, and the story varies of the history. But basically you learn about the chakras, you learn about auras, you learn about what energy is, you learn how to do self-healing, how to lay your hands on yourself, and why we put it in various areas. And you're asked to do sessions on yourself almost daily, because that's your preventive care. When you are putting your hands on yourself with intention, that's preventive care. It doesn't say that there might not be a disposition of a dormant issue going on. I promise you, should that come up because of all the elements we're working with, it's body, mind, and spirit. It's not just diet. It's old fecal matter that we came here with, the DNA stuff. But if when we begin to become conscious, and we're able to really separate, this doesn't serve me, I'm giving it to you, source, and we do this self-healing on ourselves, it actually works as preventive medicine because it's internal and it's you. So we hear all this information about the chakras, these energy openings in our bodies. There are more than 7 chakras. We have chakras all over our body, in our hands and our feet, all over us. But for the Western world, we focus on these 7. The first is the root you're sitting on. The second is the sacrum, your female reproductive organs, your kidney, your liver. And then we have this solar plexus, which is actually a video camera. And it has been recording and maintaining information from the time you were in the moon being formulated. So consider how much information has been retained. Trauma, celebrations, everything. Sounds, words, all in here. So that's why we finally, and plus it's the mid of our body, it's the balance. So we're carrying all this stuff, and a lot of times it's a lot of fecal matter that we just have stored up in here. Someone might just say something and they'll trigger a thought. And that thought may have been something that happened 20, 30, 40 years ago. Even when a time you can't even remember, maybe from a past life. And so you're finding that that keeps coming up, but is that serving you? Well, we have a choice also to begin severing those cords of that doesn't serve us, because we want to make room for the good, for the new energy that we have waiting to come in and refill that. So we want to begin a process of releasing that. So that's that solar plexus that's holding all that. Then we come up to this heart chakra, right here, the fourth, which is radiated of many places in green, your green stones and crystals, your color green, but also in your pink. Then we come to your throat. Oh boy. Are we speaking our truth? Are we saying and releasing what we need to let go? Or all the things that we're saying are hurtful to others? So we want to open. A lot of time people might be getting colds or laryngitis. It really relates to what's going on in that throat chakra. What are we blocking? Then we come up, and we was talking earlier about this third eye. Boy, a lot of us growing up being told to pray, 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 and we're praying. But the Most High already knows what you're praying about. When do you get the answers to your prayers, and how do you get them? Through that quiet time, through that meditation, through that stillness, through that going within. And the elder said, you going in that closet and being still, go be dark, because that's when we're getting ready to really get the answers, and we work on that eye opening up. That eye that connects to the divine. That eye connection that lets us know when we get the answers, we'll know where it's coming from. We don't have to question it. It's the divine. And then we have our crown chakra, our opening to spirit. So the colors relate to those various chakras and those stones. It is fascinating.
We will be right back. Welcome back to Dianne's Call. I am at the 8th Annual Womb Wellness Conference in Atlanta, Georgia. Today I'm speaking with Liera. Liera is a yoga instructor at Soul Like Dance Yoga. She's the owner and the creator. So we're going to just ask her a few questions about yoga. What does it mean? Why should we do yoga? The different types. So sweetheart, beautiful, beautiful Liera, tell us a little bit about you. Like, how old are you and when did you start? You look like you're about 16.
I get that. I'm a reflection of you. Thank you. You're beautiful
sweetheart.
as well. I started practicing yoga about 2 years ago.
Okay.
And it changed my life completely. I am now 25 years old, and I started Soul Like Dance Yoga a year ago. I'm coming up on my 1 year anniversary for Soul Like Dance Yoga.
Yes, all the 25-year-olds.
Yes. So it has definitely been a very humbling and surrendering experience for me. Yoga has brought me a new sense of awareness and connection with the universe, the cosmos, Mother Earth. I'm just connected completely with myself through these great natural elements. And yoga has taught me to become one with myself and my Most High, the Most High within me and my higher power. So yoga has been a great foundation for me to build on as far as my spirituality. has took me to another level spiritually, and I'm continually learning and growing through yoga, through meditation, through dance. All of that is very healing to me. It's the healing arts, I like to call it.
How did you come up with the name Soul Light Dance Yoga? You do all of this, you dance when you're doing the yoga also?
Yes. I actually came up with the name. It was going to be initially called Soul Light Dance, but my yoga path was so impactful, and I was very influenced by yoga that I decided to add on yoga at the end. And Soul Light, that's that inner light. That's that soul shining through. So I came up with Soul Light with one L, one word, Soul Light, SOULIGHT, dance, which is my passion. Dance is my passion, always been held in my heart. Never let go of it. So Soul Light, dance, my passion, yoga being my yogic way of life. So this Soul Light Dance Yoga.
Well, thank you so much for allowing us to have a few moments with you.
Thank you.
And I love you with your beautiful self.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Coming up on Dianne's Call.
You know, she has so many products, but the one that I'm show a little favoritism towards is...
I'm Carl Solomon. I've dedicated my career to helping injured people. The consultation is free, so call us. 803-509-8888.
Welcome back to Dianne's Call.
You know, she has so many products, but the one that I'm show a little favoritism towards is the fibroid-free product, because I was having a lot of issues with crazy fibroids. And again, at this conference, I've given myself an official title.
The trafficker.
The trafficker.
The fibroid-free
The
trafficker.
fibroid-free trafficker, because had it not been for that when I was in Afghanistan, you know, I don't know what would have happened.
Oh yeah, and all those other women too, since you
And
were
all those other
trafficking it to everybody. You made
Yep,
sure
taking
everybody
across
had
the
it.
Atlantic.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
it's so helpful. And I have given it to a lot of sisters who just said, it's just no hope for me. I'm just gonna bleed forever, no matter what. And I just give it to them. And every single time they have said, this works. So talk a little bit about that one. I know you have a lot of them.
Yeah,
but there's
right.
something very special about it. And the women, it helps so many women.
Yeah, it sure does. It sure does. You know what? I have to just call that an anointed and blessed formulation. I mean, that kind of came through me. I do a lot of research. I've done a lot of studies over the years, but that has been one that has been able to pick women off the bed, get them to work, get them back in their life, give them an opportunity to live again. Because I've met women who have been bleeding 2 and 3 months and longer in their and just trapped in their house. And so with this tonic, they've been able to go back and go to work and go out in public without fear of having an explosion of blood everywhere, you know, of just being so weak that they don't want to go anywhere, you know. So I feel like I'm blessed to have it had come through me.
Right.
To have come through me.
Can you share two things? Number one, I know it's a proprietary blend, you know, came through you. Can you talk about maybe one of the herbs that's in there and why it's in there? And then talk a little bit about, you know, what could be what you found to be one of the reasons why women just are bleeding so much.
Okay, they're bleeding so much because they eat a lot of toxins. They're using a lot of secret scents in perfumes, etc. Even the cleaning products that they're using in their home are contributing to the toxic, you know, flow. I mean, they have, you know, seals, Baltic seals. They have fibroids the same as women, except they're bigger because the animal is bigger, have a longer body. But they have the exact same the fibroids. Why? Because we all swim in the same water. We all using the same water all over the world. Is flowing through the same oceans and rivers and streams, and we all using the same water. And all that water is filled with toxins from, not only from, you know, the chemicals that we use in like ant poison. And you can look around here and you see ant hills. They're going to be ant hills in nature. The ants were here before we got here, you know? So ants deserve to be here. I mean, it's a certain way that you live on this planet and coexist, and allow the things that are here to still be here. But those things, you put ant poison on the ground, it seeps down into my well, which I have a well, and then people come over here they brush their teeth or whatever with the water, and then they got ant poison. And then they wondering why they don't, they got growths coming on, So, I mean, one of the ingredients that's in it, and there are a lot of different ingredients that people just are not common, but the common one that people know is raspberry leaf. And that's good for everybody because not only is it vitamin C, but it's also minerally rich, so it can help with iron, and most women who are really deficient in iron bleed a lot. So one of the things that I talk to women about is that if you're bleeding a lot and no matter what you do, you still bleed out, where the point where you've gone and had transfusions and you're on the threat of having another transfusion, the best thing to do is to take chlorophyll or alfalfa and to take it into some alkaline water, because that's part of the toxicity is our bodies being very acidic. So when you take alkaline water, you help to bring your body to a less acid state, and you take in the chlorophyll, and the chlorophyll is building up your iron stores and your minerals, which can help you not bleed as much, because that is part of it, is that your iron is so low that you're just bleeding out. As soon as you get it to a level where you start noticing colors and things look different, you hear different, you're not as tired, then you know your iron is up. And then you know that you not only will you'll notice the bleeding stop just like that.
And you were talking about toxins, and you also have I've taken your dewormer.
Oh yeah, the dewormer, that's one of the things that sometimes women who have fibroids and cysts, is just incredible right now. Everybody has a cyst. So I use the dewormer as a way to break down the cysts, because sometimes cysts are dead sacks of worms or live sacks of worms. And people don't want to think about that, but we all, deworm our puppies and our dogs and every animal on the farm when you go to the feed store. But the only one they don't have in there is one for humans, and they're dealing with all of those animals.
And you have created one.
Yes.
All right.
All right. So, the grandmothers used to deworm babies. They used to pick up newborn infants and rub their stomach to see how hard it was, and that would tell them how wormy they were. Even children who, they would do it every season. So you do it in the spring and you do it before school start. And if any child was either sick on a regular basis or what they call wouldn't mind, wouldn't cooperate, they would say that child is wormy. They need to be cleaned out.
I remember hearing that when I was growing up.
Because the worms in little kids, because they're so sensitive to their body, are just there, and they feel everything, and they just move it. So they can't sit still in school, in church, nowhere. And they say, hey, that child is out of control. That's the worms is doing that. As soon as we get some of the worms out, we'll be able to manage them a little better.
Now, do you have any kids that you treat that maybe were diagnosed with ADD or certain other things?
Yeah, a lot.
Okay.
A lot of children who have basically almost put out of school for their behavior in class, even though they were on medication and things. And then once they started doing the deworming and eating a more minerally rich diet, feeding their nerves, eating some essential fatty acids. Essential fatty acids help to, it's essential. It helps to build the nerves, balance the hormones. It helps to move the bowels, lubricate the joints, help increase the function of the brain, all of these things. And these are all things we all need. That's why everybody grew up taking cod liver oil. Everybody, and when the seasons change, especially when we go from summer to fall, you already supposed to have your kids on cod liver oil so that when they start school, they don't get sick. And you dewormed them before school started so they don't have that weak immune system. As soon as they become in contact with other new germs, they get sick.
Okay. And I know we're going through a lot real fast, but I just want to touch on some high points. But the last one I want to touch on, you've mentioned a lot today about moon cycles and birth. Could you go over those cycles?
Birth, life, death, and rebirth. Yeah, and I love talking about it, because if somebody had told me this in my 20s or 30s, my life would have been different. Seriously.
And how so? How you think your life would have?
Because number one, I would have been able to release and let things go faster, instead of trying to think that I was being more of a heroine, a shero, and sticking with something that wasn't working. If it's not working, let it go.
Now, we are the masters of that. We're the masters of holding
on to stuff that does not behoove you. It does not serve you. It does not help you to grow. And one of the big things for most women who are having womb issues is they holding on to relationships that do not behoove, that does not serve them. With men, with jobs, with, even with siblings. You know, you can, once you become an adult, you can tell people how they're going to treat you and how they're not going to treat you. And if they don't want to get with your program, then you cut them off.
Cut them off.
And you know what? That, to some people that sounds severe, but how severe is it for you to have your womb taken out? You know, and according to the CDC, 6 out of 10 African American women will have had a hysterectomy by age 60. 6 out of 10. So that means out of this gathering of here, every one of us, except for maybe 4 people, every one of us will have a hysterectomy by the time it's 60. I tell women, you are fighting for your life, because you are. If you were drowning, what would you do? And that's why I call this revolutionary womb wellness, because it's thinking outside the box. You do not go across town and let a man that you see once a year tell you, oh, they're small, they're not bothering you, don't bother it. Well, if it was not in your womb, in an invisible place, and on your face, on your neck, over your eye, you would do something about it. So you don't let somebody tell you how to care for yourself, like what they say is better and more important than what you think and what you feel. That's the whole thing about revolutionary womb wellness, is believe yourself, trust yourself, understand that intuition is there for a reason, and when you use it, you never can go wrong.
Amen. Amen.
And we have that. That's the gift that women have. Men don't have it. They don't.
Why
There's
we
a
don't
rare
trust
man.
it? Why we don't trust it?
Because we've been taught not to.
By who?
You know what? I can go down a list. I can go down a list of people who don't trust it, who tell you not to trust it. From your parents to, like, is that logical? Do that seem logical? I mean, you know, you've heard these kind of comments. To the church, you know what? That's not of this world. That's not of the God. That's, you know.
But that is God.
That is God. But see, you know what? People have a different image of God, but God is all of this and that intuition. God made all of this, so God is in everything, including us. It's in us. It's not like, why haven't they caught up with God in the spaceship? Because there ain't nowhere out there you're going to catch God, you know? And that's where native peoples, people of the earth, you know, have gotten the whole thing already figured out before we came with a whole nother worldview. And it's that, you know, the stars, the energy of the universe, all of that is what we're taking into ourselves to enhance who we are and why we've been put here. That's why we desire to be in the park and on the beach and all that, is to enhance what we've been given. But most of the time, we stomp it, twirl it, twist it, tie it up.
Question it.
Yeah, cover it, you know, all of that, because we are afraid to be who we truly are. And then we let somebody else who's not afraid of who you are and what you have pay you $200 a week to use you. They pay you $200 a week, and you feel, oh, I got a job, I got something that I'm going to be stable with. Well, that's no longer true. Somebody pay you $200 a week, you need to be insulted. And you need to figure that you better than that. And if you sold something, anything else, even pencils, you can make more than $200 a week.
Okay, I know I said that was the last thing, but one more last thing.
Okay.
You talk a lot about the womb and the ovaries. Let's speak about the power of the womb.
You know what? That's the whole thing, is this whole...
Or is that another whole class?
No, but you know what? That's part of what we're talking about with that whole energetic thing, is powering our womb, which is our creative center. That is what connects you to what your purpose is. That is what connects you to universal energy and why we're all here. That's what connects us to how we're supposed to move on the planet. That's what it is. But most of the time, you know, we don't want to do half of the things that it requires. We want to be under fluorescent lights. We don't want to, some people tell you that I never go outside.
Right.
Some people go from their house into their garage, into their car, and they stay in some kind of unit all the time. They don't let nature touch them, you know? I mean, and I'm not saying go outside without sunblock, you know?
Yeah.
But I'm saying that, you know, nature is part of us.
Well, sister, thank you so much for allowing us to come and spread the word about this beautiful center.
Okay.
Thank you, and thank you for my flower.
Okay.
Today's spicy bite is
Basil. Basil is the queen of all the herbs. I'm a queen too, so I can relate. The reason they call her the queen is because she's so diverse. She has several names. We call her Thai basil, sweet basil, or just regular basil. She has a few more names. But again, she's very diverse. This is the green leaves, and the aroma is just so amazing. It's the main ingredient in pesto. And we also have it in dried form, which has been dried, and people use this in a lot of different soups. Once again, it smells so good. One of the most delicious things that you can make with the green leaves is Basil Lemonade. Again, she's very diverse. And you know, in life, you need some diversity. Diversity helps us to grow. And we all want to grow. You don't want to remain the same person that you were 5, 10, even a year ago. You always want to have a life of fullness, differences. You want to be around people that are always not like you. You want different types of things. Basil is an antioxidant and antiviral herb. It's been used to treat stress, diabetes, and asthma. So always add a little basil into your life. See you next time on Dianne's Call.